Today we're going to be talking about extending CRM with Zoho Creator, obviously as a title. And we're going to talk about how Creator can really solve almost any of your business needs. With any organization, we have sales apps, we have support apps, we have marketing apps, and we have anything else. And Zoho, as you know, makes a bunch of different apps, and a lot of them solve a lot of business needs. But when it comes to your organization, there's a lot of things that Zoho doesn't make a product for. And there's actually things that you may do that no company makes a product for. And in situations like that, where do you go to solve a process that you need to track and you want to optimize, but you really don't have anything off the shelf that you can use that's going to be able to do that for you? So in cases like that, you probably resort to things like spreadsheets, maybe you resort to email threads, maybe you resort to pen and paper or some manual check-in process of any kind of sort. And all those kind of things are, band-aids for really something that could be optimized and could be made a little bit more efficient in order to make that thing better. So we have all these little disconnected silos of information, as well as disconnected processes. And where does Creator tie in? Well, it actually ties in pretty well because all those things tie in together. And so Creator is kind of like the Zoho glue, if you will. Almost any product Zoho makes ties in with Zoho Creator. Zoho Creator can take information from any app, manipulate it, make other calculations with it, maybe connect it to a third-party application, and send it back to that original application or a different application. And it's not just Zoho specific. Maybe if you're using some third-party software and you need to connect it with Zoho, there's a very good chance that Creator could be the easiest way to do that, short of having to develop something completely from scratch or pay somebody a bunch of money to go develop something for you that you don't really know how it works and you can never really update it yourself later if you want to. So far in the entire morning, what we've been talking about is kind of what I would like to consider the tip of the iceberg. So the Zoho suite, what we've really touched on is really the top part. That's really visible. It's the easy things like workflows. It's the easy things like best practices and web forms. And these are all features that we kind of give you out of the box, but really the hidden power of CRM and the hidden power of really your business is being able to automate all parts of your business and not just a simple sales process and not just maybe a simple support process, but really connecting all that information together and being able to utilize it all is where really the value is. And that's really how you can become a better business and be more efficient and make better decisions for your business and make more money, right? So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is a simple appointment scheduler. So I've got 3 or 4 different examples that I've already built out in Creator. We're going to see how they work, and we're going to make a couple tweaks to them and show you how it works. So first things first, appointment scheduling, right? So appointment scheduler, what we're going to do is I have a company, and I have a logo somewhere in here, I'm pretty sure, and I'm an exterminator, right? And so in the exterminator business, there's a lot of things that I do that the CRM can help me for. It can help me track my clients. It can help me convert leads into contacts and track the opportunities that I go for. But also in the exterminator business, there's a couple roadblocks that I hit. So the first thing is appointment scheduling, and that's going to be, in this case, let's say the Zoho offices had termites. We don't, but assuming we did in this case. As a customer, I would probably want to schedule a request and say, hey, I have termites. I need someone to come out here as soon as possible, right? So right now, if you have a contact or someone you're doing business with who might need to schedule some time on your calendar with the sales rep, their account manager, or anybody in your organization, how do they do that? They email you. Maybe they'll send you an archaic Outlook invite. You go accept it. Maybe you got to go back and forth on, oh, I'm free this time, I'm not free this time. And 3 or 4 emails deep is when we actually can set a time and get it going. So in this case, what we have is the appointment scheduler is the ability to have someone outside your organization schedule appointments directly with you. So this is my CRM. I have this thing called schedule a cleaning, right? And it's not really a cleaning, it's really more like an on-site visit of any sort. But let's take, for example, I'm going to pop back CRM in a different tab. And so let's look at my contacts. So I got a couple contacts. I was playing around in the morning. Let's look at my Zoholics contacts. So I got a couple different contacts in the CRM. Let's take Dennis Nedry. So I've got some information about him. There's opportunity. He was supposed to debug the security system. It's not done yet. But I'm mainly looking here at activities, right? So he's got a problem. Maybe he's got termites at Jurassic Park. I don't know. That he needs to get rid of. So he needs to schedule me to come on site with him. Or maybe just a call to see what's going on if I need to consult with him first. He can easily come to this form that can be publicly accessible. I made it very ugly. So I like to automate as much as humanly possible. That prevents me from having to do things. So if I make something simple like raptor cage has termites, right? And I'll put in my email, or he would put in his email. And let's say I need him to come out sometime soon. So let's say tomorrow works, right? So I'll pick tomorrow. And you can see here the end time automatically gets populated for me, which I don't have to do, because I know that every time someone wants to schedule some time with me, it's going to be about a 2-hour session. So a lot of things that Creator can do in the back end that we don't really see here, but we'll get to in a little bit, is add logic to different ways of inputting your data, and then add logic ways to manipulating the data that you already have inside Creator. And then here, let's say Raptor Cage 4, right? And I can submit it. So the data gets added. So he's now scheduled an appointment with me. So if I come back to his record in the CRM, I can very easily see that there's an activity that says the Raptor Cage has termites. Yep. So anytime someone wants to interface with you and have information that a customer normally wouldn't be able to access inside your CRM, you're now having customers or your end users basically be able to schedule things with you. Maybe they can create a task for you that says, hey, I need something to be checked out, and depending on the priority level. So you can almost turn this into a basic level ticketing service if you even wanted to, or a troubleshooting thing, or really any type of situation that you really wanted to. You can associate outside information and have people interact with your data inside. So that's a very basic appointment scheduler. Kind of cool. Even cooler, customer self-service portal. So what is this? So a lot of times you have a lot of information about customers in your CRM, and that information sometimes can go out of date. Let's say I change phone numbers, let's say I change email addresses, maybe I change addresses, maybe I get a promotion, maybe I get a demotion, whatever happens, I want to have that information updated for someone I'm doing business with. So to make sure that my customer's information is always up to date, I can have a simple, maybe a link in my signature that says, has your information changed or do you need to update anything? You know, click this link and fill out your information and have it updated in our system. Someone changes their phone number on you, then you can never really call them again because you don't have their new number. So how do you have the customer actually update their own information? And this is really important because this is less effort I have to do, going back to the laziness thing, of calling people and emailing them and tracking them down and saying, oh, did your number change? Let me get the new information from you. Or, you know, maybe their name wouldn't really change, or it could change. Maybe they got married, they need to change their name in the system, whatever. But it's a way for your customers to be able to interact with your data as well. Here was just pushing information into the system, right, with a simple activity. And now we're going to go a step further, and we're going to pull information from the system and then update it. So let's take Nedry, for example, again here, right? Dennis, that's not his name. Nedry at ingen.com, right? So I can simply say, search the CRM. So what it's going to do is it's going to find all of this information from the CRM. So if I look here in the CRM, I can see that he's a coder. He lives at our Austin office address, and he has no phone number, right? So I can come in here and say, look, he's not a coder. He's actually a trader, you know, and he has a phone number, or everyone got a text from here, 909-919 Zoho 9646, right? So he's the guy that's been sending all those one-on-one text messages. And I'll leave his address the same, right? I can update the CRM, and now he's updated his information. So if I come back to my CRM and do a quick refresh, I can scroll down and see that he has now been labeled as a trader, so I know who he is. And what else did I actually change? I gave him a phone number, right? So any kind of information that you really want to do, I'm doing it very basic, but you see that any information that's in the CRM can easily be pulled externally, and then someone can manipulate the data on their own and then push it back. So you can take this a step further, and the whole point of this session is to kind of give you a little bit more on the what ifs and the possibilities of it. So maybe you had potentials in the CRM or an opportunity. Maybe you had a quote, maybe you had an invoice, and you want that information to be pushed back out where a customer can access it and then simply do a quick spot check and maybe even check a box, say, you know, I approve or this looks good, and then click submit, and the information gets updated back in the CRM. Simple example. So let's make it a little bit better. Eventbrite integration. So something like this is everybody registered for Eventbrite here. We use Eventbrite for all of our events, and people register on Eventbrite, but we really don't know what they're doing. Has anybody here actually used Eventbrite? Well, let me tell you how Eventbrite is cool, but it's not very cool. So if I throw a lot of events on Eventbrite, as you can imagine we do, one every couple months or whatever, how do I know who's a returning customer, who's maybe been here a bunch of times and who's their first time? Maybe I want to know what Zoho products they use. Maybe I want to know what their meal preference is. I wouldn't really be able to keep a profile of a person across multiple events. Each time I register, I have to ask that guy over and over again, what products do you use or where are you from? All these other pieces of information. We don't really have a central contact database that spans across all Eventbrite activities because each event is kind of treated in its own little silo. So what we can do with Creator is kind of take it a step further. So I'm going to pop open to my Eventbrite integration. And this is very basic. So here you can see I only did a couple events because I didn't really care that much. but very small right here for people in the front row and pretty much nobody else. It actually says 1,551. So I pulled in 1,500 different people who have registered for our events over the past, I think, year maybe. And I've got them kind of grouped off by people who came to our creator workshop a couple weeks ago. Here's all the information you gave us. There's your name, email address, what company you work for, your attendee ID, which we can use to get more information from Eventbrite if we wanted to, order ID if we wanted to get your payment details, if you actually showed up at the event and you were checked in or not, if you used a promotion code. Some people did, some people didn't. So let me just get out of here real quick. All right, so let's go somewhere where most people weren't. So let me come into this little report that I've built out called my attendee count, right? There we go. So this is how many people came to every single one of my events. The coolest thing is you have this information from Eventbrite for all these events they went to, but how does that really connect with your CRM data, right? And Eventbrite is just one example, but maybe there's any other number of apps out there that your customers are signing up for, or events they're going to, whatever. So you're contextually seeing outside information from any third-party data source, really, organizing it in Creator, manipulating it however you want to, and then having it displayed contextually in a CRM under a profile. SMS integration. All right, cool. In Creator, let's say, for example, let's say I want to have information sent to somebody via text. Maybe a text message reminder before an event. Maybe I want to tell them that, hey, your bill is due, please give me money, kind of thing. Or maybe you want to text them about updating their contact information or meeting you at an event or anything. I can have information sent directly from here to a contact, right? So I'm going to pop into my CRM contacts, and I'm going to find Dennis this time. Right? And then if I came to Dennis's profile in the CRM, I could see that I had an outbound SMS going to Dennis, I guess in this case. And also this is all the text messages that Dennis sends back to me. So if I came out here and refreshed his profile in the CRM, I could see that it's a different message that would have been there. I didn't attach it to the contact. That's right. That's how it's being associated by the contact. See, I want to make sure everybody's following along. I know lunch was kind of late, but see if people catch my mistakes. So that was on purpose, most definitely. So I will leave this up.